The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning and welcome to the September System webinar for Roundtable. Appreciate everybody taking some time out of your day this morning to join us. This is Jeff Goodman, and looking forward to a good session here this morning. And as always, I will walk through the agenda for today, as well as take us through the rest of the presentation. We've got a couple of participating people today. One is Melissa Ellis, who's our Director of Training, and then, as usual, Kristen Lynch, our VP of Marketing. So again, pleased to have everybody here today. We've got a number of pretty cool things to share today. I'll give a quick sales and system update in terms of the latest trends and direction of the brand. An overview of some additional data out of the GEM program. I gave a little bit of color last month with some of the data that we've been seeing flowing out of that particular system. We've made a number of different hires and changes within the organization lately, so I thought I'd just give you a quick snapshot of some of the organizational changes that we have made. Melissa will give an online learning update, share a couple slides on product development and some interesting things that we in the product development committee have been working through. And then certainly going through a marketing update with Kristen and the team, wrapped up with our open forum at the end. As usual, if you have questions throughout the presentation, please do feel free to use the GoToWebinar interface to type in questions, and we'll do our best to answer those at the end or after the webinar on a one-on-one basis. So with that, we'll jump into it. As a reminder, our 4 strategic pillars that we've been working off of all year and we will continue to work off of, asking ourselves the questions are, what are we doing to drive top-line sales? What are we doing to continue to enhance the overall guest experience? What are we doing to maximize unit-level economics? And then what are we doing to better communicate and support each other, wrapped up in what we talk about a great deal internally as a culture of accountability and achievement. For the system update, we've got 2 graphs on the screen here. One is a month-by-month system-wide same-store sales figure. The graph on the right, for definition, is the annualized same-store sales results for the system. So let me describe that just a little bit to make sure that we have clarity. On one hand, on the left, in January, we were down 3.2%. Against system-wide, and forgive me, I know it says 2017 in that blue line, but these are 2018 results. So we started off down. Internally, we've been looking at March and April as a bit of a combination month. You will see a peak and a valley. A lot of that is Easter influenced. So if you blend those two together, the run rate is not too dissimilar than what we saw in February and or May. It's around that 1% down mark. As we move forward into June, down 2.35, July, you see that result. And we have bounced back a little bit in August, which is encouraging, and continue to do so in September, down 1.61%. Kristen will certainly talk about some of the activities we're doing to change that trajectory or keep that trajectory going in an upwards direction. Year to date, you can see the year to date in January, we're all the way through the rest of the year, or excuse me, so this starts in April as a starting point. Otherwise, we would just see the sawtooth pattern that we saw in January, February, and March. But starting in April, you can see the year to date system-wide sales, same-store sales. Slight uptake up from July into August, from down 1.7 to 1.69, and certainly making efforts to see that continues. On a little bit different look, share a little different data. We certainly track on an annual basis what our sales mix is doing within the organization. So we say, hey, if we're down in same-store sales, can we discern where some of that decline is coming from? And I think this chart helps to depict where some of our leakage is coming from. And namely, it's coming from delivery. So delivery is, which is the blue line in the sales chart, is clearly declining as a percentage of overall sales, and dine-in and carry-out are rising as a result. That doesn't necessarily mean that one should walk away from looking at this chart saying we're doing a better job on dine-in or takeaway. They very likely may just be rising as a percentage of sales due to the decline in the volume of delivery business. You can see that from 2016 to 17 to 18, delivery represented 34.6, down to 34 in 2017, and then down this year to just sub 33%, kind of a precipitous decline there in terms of our sales mix. And certainly that is something that for us all to be very mindful over. As we certainly see in some of our GEM data, that decline in delivery could be coming from, it's not definitive, but it could be coming from a number of different sources or causes. One, simple operational execution. The number of points of failure that we see in the guest feedback around missing toppings, inaccurate orders, misquoted delivery times, things of that nature are very significant. There's a great number of times where on a delivery order we have shot ourselves in the foot by having a less than satisfactory experience. I'm sure that all of us can appreciate from a consumer's point of view that there's nothing more frustrating than paying a pretty competitive price that we charge and receiving less than everything that they ordered online or on a call-in type basis. So I can sense the frustration. The other side of it is the continued influence of choice and an heightened choice to the guest today through the influence of third-party delivery companies. Third-party delivery is obviously a separate conversation in the stores that we have purview into across the system. We're seeing stores as little as a couple $100 a week and as much as $2,000 a week in third-party sales coming through platforms such as Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Postmates, things of that nature. So, but the point is, in terms of sales, in a delivery sense, is the customer is being bombarded by options, and the customer is being bombarded with choices, and they're finding alternatives clearly to the experience that they have through us. We have to be mindful of that, raise our game operationally, and then look for alternative channels to engage with the consumer to continue to be in front of them at every opportunity while they're making their purchase decision. So moving on from sales performance across the system to what are we doing to enhance the guest experience, let me talk a little bit about the GEM program. As a quick reminder, we have 3 different facets to the GEM program. I'm going to share some data from the Inform or the Contact Us section of this platform today. But we have 3 different platforms. One is the bottom of the receipt survey, which we are rapidly increasing through integrations with Basal of the number of stores on the program. And we should be close to having that complete even as early as at the end of next week. But that's the exciting piece, and the data coming in from the survey at the bottom of the sheet is really very compelling. The second piece, the Inform Contact Us, that is a guest who has reached out unsolicited saying, hey, I want to reach out to Roundtable and share my experience. Not a survey basis, just simple typing in a form and sending us their survey, and sending us their feedback. And third is the social view, which is on the number of different platforms, whether it's Google, Twitter, Facebook, and the like, Yelp. What is our overall social footprint and what people are saying about us in that community? So overall, you can see from June to July, as we migrated onto the program, into August, we saw a slight uptick in some of the results. Overall satisfaction went from a 61 in June with a limited number of stores in the program to a peak of 68.8 in July. August ticked down a little bit in OSAT to a 66. In September, we're starting off at a 60.2. So the more stores we get on the system and the more that the results are more normalized, we're seeing a stabilization, at least, of the results. The concerning piece, as I shared on last month's webinar, are the two at the bottom. Cleanliness at a 51%. And the way to read that is in September is that only 51% of our guests, when surveyed, are communicating that they're highly satisfied with the perception of cleanliness they had of the restaurant in which they were in on that particular day. Sometimes image connects with cleanliness. It's not that the restaurant was factually dirty, although we do see a lot of comments that would support that. But sometimes it's a factor of image, that the restaurant's just older, tired, dated, things along those lines, which can lead to a negative perception of cleanliness. The other concerning one certainly is value. We've talked about this quite a bit. Value is defined as what you get, the experience, divided by the price that you pay. And that is the value equation, as we all know. Almost 43% of our guests are saying they're highly satisfied with the value they received based upon their experience at a Round Table Pizza. That is certainly a very concerning thing, and it's not solely a price-driven concern. It's an experiential concern more than anything else. We do see comments, as I'm sure you all do who are watching this on your daily feed coming in from the GEM program. We do see comments sometimes just simply say, you cost too much. But those are actually fairly rare. What we see far more often than not is this happened, XYZ happened, you missed a topping, pizza wasn't made right, the restaurant was dirty, tables weren't bussed fast enough, things along, you quoted me the wrong delivery time, you said 45 minutes, it took an hour and a half. All of those things contribute to a negative perception of the value of the experience with Round Table, but without question, that is a massive opportunity for us all to focus on as a brand, to make sure that we are doing what we can to improve the experience, which will drive the perception of value upwards. Again, as we've said many times, it's not necessarily that we are overpriced that influences us. It's that oftentimes we're just simply underexperienced. But we can certainly all work together to solve that. Diving a little deeper into the GEM program, I've got a couple of slides of charts here to share. This is all data that comes out of the Inform program. So this is not receipt-driven surveys. This is not a guest that's been incented to complete a survey. This is data coming from guests that have reached out on their own through the website to give us feedback. And the system automatically compiles and sorts this data into buckets using a process called text analytics. So let me kind of walk through this and share some of the data that we're seeing. So in terms of the types of feedback received, and by the way, we've received close to 3,000 contacts just in the past 60 days alone of unsolicited feedback. It's pretty compelling. So this represents a pretty meaningful data sample, 3,000 points of contact. So 57% of the feedback points that we've gotten have to do with a complaint. 31% are a compliment, which is fantastic. Actually, I'm actually pleased that a third of the guests who are communicating into us are praising. And there's a lot of wonderful comments that have come in that are compliments, really phenomenal. And then a smaller percentage of the feedback is coming in making a suggested improvement, and then 8% is something else. Sometimes it's making an inquiry about, hey, are you ever going to carry this product? Sometimes it's a, who knows, maybe somebody wants to inquire about a franchise. You never know, or other items. But that's the general categories of feedback. Diving into that more, what does the feedback relate to? And we can sort of bucketize these things together. 52% of the feedback relates to some component of service. 25% of the feedback that we're receiving unsolicited has to relate with a product-related issue, concern, compliment. 15 has to do with something else, another bucket, and 8% has to do with the restaurant environment cleanliness, music, etc., etc., etc. So let's dive deep just into the 3 buckets around product, service, and cleanliness. Let's tackle service first. So here's how this breaks down. Out of all the comments we've had, 42% of the service components that we've got, the feedback we've gotten, have to do with the friendliness of the staff. 21% have to do with the speed of service received on that particular visit. 12% have to do with the accuracy of the order received. And most of those, I can assure you, are concerns, not compliments. We don't get a lot of people reaching back out saying, hey, I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you getting my order right. That doesn't happen terribly often. So these are all, most of these on here are negative sentiment behind these. 3% has to do with simply the availability of the staff, which is pretty concerning. Those are comments that have come in saying, where the heck is your management team? I've had to wait on people. There's nobody in the dining room, things of that nature, where we're just not out engaging with the guests in the front of the house. And 22% around service have to do with just some other piece of the business. And I share a couple of quotes from guests commenting here. I'll just read them real quick. The Safeway down the street from this restaurant prints roundtable coupons, and they come in the mail as well. This location routinely refuses to accept them. Tried several times for dine-in and carry-out, and told they can never accept due to financial distress of the franchise. I would throw it out there that there may be a chicken and the egg conversation there. $26 for medium pizzas, more than the artisan place down the street, and this round table is filthy. Don't understand the business model here. Pretty concerning. The other one being, at 5:15 p.m., we ordered 1 pizza for delivery. We have ordered many times from this location. We were given a delivery time of 45 minutes. A little after an hour later, we called to check on the delivery. We were told that it just left the store. Our pizza did not arrive until about 35 minutes after that call and a subsequent call. It had been over an hour and a half since ordering and had been out of the oven for delivery for 30 minutes. The delivery driver dropped off the pizza and didn't even mention being over 45 minutes late. Obviously, it was not hot. We had to reheat the pizza just to serve it. And these are just 2 representative examples of what we see over and over again. So when we talk about delivery, we have to make sure that we're operating at a high level if we want to see that delivery trend line, which I shared earlier, tick back in the opposite direction, which we certainly do, and be more competitive. But those are some of the examples around service. Friendliness, speed, availability of staff, accuracy, all elements that are within our control on a daily basis. Comes down to operational execution. The second one up, product feedback. 56% of the feedback on quality of product has to do with quality. We've got 25% about accuracy. That is a huge opportunity for us. We've got 3% has to do with availability of the product. That is generally tied to the buffet and people coming in for a lunch buffet and having relatively empty or non-full buffets. And then 9% on overall just simple value feedback. You see a couple of the comments below, and I'll just read one of them. My son and I came in around noon, wasn't busy, placed our order. More customers came in for buffet. The staff kept bringing out buffet pizzas. By the time we got our order, over half an hour later, our order was barely warm. Not only that, I had to ask for it since it was just sitting in the window chilling. The reason we didn't order buffet in the first place was to avoid cold pizza. We had ordered an extra large pizza and wings, way too expensive for the quality. Again, back to that value equation of value is experience over price. Clearly a failed experience in this place, driving down the perception of value. So great information, and all of this information is available for your restaurants in real time. The next one being restaurant environment. 67% of the comments related to a restaurant environment have to do with a form of cleanliness. And before even looking at the couple of comments, we do have a couple of layout concerns where, for example, the bar area is too close to the game room, things that we can't necessarily fix, but we have to be very mindful of when we design new restaurants and start developing new stores. And we already are working on those types of things. But looking at the comments, the one on the right is particularly bad, but the one on the left, the service was not good. Tables and floor need to be clean. I had to clean my own table. The workers just walk by and don't do anything. I eat there at least 2 to 3 times a week. I will not be eating there anymore. And if you think about the lifetime value of that customer based upon the lack of cleanliness and attentiveness of the staff in that particular restaurant, that is massive. Even if that is close to probably a $2,000 a year hit on the restaurant just from that one consumer, if that person is spending $10 each visit and they visit 3 times a week, that's $30 a week times 52 weeks a year. You're talking $1,500 plus just simply from that consumer alone, let alone the ancillary impact of them telling their friends, colleagues, family members, and the overall impact. So when we look at these things and we see these opportunities and the forums come into you about opportunities that you've been presented in your restaurants, I just implore each one of you to take them seriously. It's not necessarily about whether the guest is right. Sometimes the guest is wrong. But at the end of the day, the guest is still the guest, and it's okay for the guest to be wrong. What we just can't afford is them choosing to go someplace else, as this guest is indicating. On the flip side of that, we have to celebrate the wins as well. We can talk about the opportunities all day long, and certainly we have to get better at that. We have tons of great positive compliments that have come in. One from Kihei, Devin was extremely friendly and checked on us after we received our food. Also saw him cleaning tables when he wasn't assisting customers at the register. Thank you, thank you. Kim at store 520 is always prepped for fast, friendly service. The office where I live just loves Roundtable, especially when they're not paying for it, but that is inconsequential. The point is Kimberly is honest. Roundtable is the last honest pizza, and it is never burnt or too crispy. It's just right. I don't know how Kim or her team does it, but from the drivers to the bakers, the whole team, they do me right every time, always greet me well, and when I really feel loved there. To the CEOs, president, VP, DM, GM, I'm grateful that you hired Kim and her team, and I can say we're happy to have Kim there as well. That's for sure. Other than working with this guest on proper punctuation and grammar, that's a pretty phenomenal compliment. So we have the wonderful things. Now, on the right, you see a screenshot of the SMG app, the GEM program app. If any of you has not downloaded this to your phone, it is a phenomenal tool and resource, especially as you run multi-unit restaurant environments. Being able to see the comments that come in real time, being able to look at any moment of the day into how you're performing in social, within surveys, and certainly with these direct informed comments that are coming is really powerful. It's a quick glance at a moment here and there, and it's a very addictive and very powerful way to catch people doing something right as a comment comes in, and certainly to identify trends earlier before they become habit in the restaurant. So very powerful program, and I'm thrilled we have it in place. Next up, in terms of communication and support, as I mentioned before, we've got a number of new people in the organization, which I thought I'd share, and we do have a couple of changes as well. Let me share a few new team members, and I will supplement this slide with a refined organizational chart that we'll look to get out in a future roundup as we polish it up. We are thrilled to have Joseph Buck Caetano as our new franchise business consultant just south of San Francisco. Buck's finishing up his training over the next week or so. Comes from a great background, spent a lot of years with Target working in retail, and most recently spent a number of years working as a franchise business consultant within the 7-Eleven system. So thrilled to bring his passion for working with franchisees to the brand. So welcome, Buck. Great to have you on board. Ashley Porter joined our team recently as our new point of sale manager across all GFG brands. So we're thrilled to have Ashley. She's awesome, and it was a hugely important role that we got filled. Phil Manning as our new senior database analyst to help us analyze sales and refine some of our data that's flowing in. Karen Baker, Steve Dijon in our accounting and finance teams. Patty Tefel with executive support. Sandra Toliva, who's our purchasing specialist specifically for Roundtable, working on with Jennifer Iglesia and the great work that she always does as a support person for Jennifer to build out her team. And then two key hires in the realms of construction. One, Tim McIntyre, who many of you who are working on projects currently have already been in contact with, who's come on board as our new construction manager. And then we brought in a little more senior person with a great deal of experience across the industry, Tom Martin, as our new director of construction. Very important roles for us, especially as we have now 40 some odd projects in the pipeline, that we have the right kind of support to make sure that we help get those stores open on time, on budget, and certainly within brand standards. So I'm excited to have that full team on board. We are also excited to have Steve Gibbs, who was serving in the role of franchise business consultant. Steve Gibbs has accepted and has started now in his new role as director of company restaurant operations, working with the RTDC stores, replacing Matt Adams, who's moved on to other opportunities. We thank Matt for his number of years within the company, and I know he's going to have a lot of success in his future endeavors. Steve comes to us from a lot of experience running large restaurant groups, large swaths of company stores. He and I did have the opportunity to work together in our past, and I know his passion for operational excellence, and it's equaled by his passion for developing people and investing back in the people who go run those excellent restaurants. So thrilled to have Steve on the team. We also have a number of other key positions that we're in the process of finalizing fill for. So we'll have more announcements about personnel and moves in the coming weeks. So we're excited to keep on building out the support team as we go. So let me now bring on board one of our other support efforts, which is our online learning. And I'm going to unmute Melissa Ellis, if I can find her here, and bring her onto the program. There she is. Melissa, you there?
I am here.
Excellent. I'll turn it over to you, Melissa, and I'll click the slides ahead for you, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff. I am excited to talk to you guys today about our learning management system, our online crew training program, and how you can get started using the system today or getting your managers and key operating partners involved with the program. So our learning management system partner is LearningZen, and we have found them to be a very successful tool with GFG. They pride themselves on being online learning simplified, and we definitely find that to be true. The system is intuitive, but it's very easy to track, and most importantly, it's very easy for the users to take the courses and for you to go in and assign the courses and do your back-end management of the program. So ease of use was key for us when selecting an LMS, and I think you'll really find that it's simple and quick. So we launched the program a little bit earlier this year, and we have had some great feedback from the system. So this is some of the feedback we've gotten from the Roundtable Pizza franchisees. It's a big upgrade from what we currently have. It's a must-need program. I'm very passionate about it. I think you guys are going to find that it's a game changer with the training for the brand. So currently available to you and your team is the new crew training program. This program is organized into 6 training tracks, which really breaks up the training into smaller sections that can be assigned to each team member. So if you have someone just starting, you can assign them just the orientation track, which is comprised of 2 learning modules. Or if you have someone who's ready to be cross-trained and now learn some of the specialist positions within the brand, you can assign them the whole specialist training track. So it makes it easier for you to assign, and it also kind of breaks up the training for the learner. You will find 34 new video training modules, and these cover operational topics including order taking, delivery, dough rolling, and so much more. So we've really tried to encompass everything operational in the business. Each module includes a written overview, a training video, and a short quiz. If there are any applicable supporting tools or charts, They're linked inside the module and can be opened directly from that page. So no scrolling to any other systems. Everything is packaged together in one place. And you'll find that written information is just an excerpt from your operations manual. So we show a couple of courses here: pizza, product makeup, and sandwiches. And that kind of gives you a view of what the modules are going to look like in your learning management system. Very simple. They'll go in, they'll select what course they'd like to take, and just begin the course and click through. This is a little preview of some of our courses. You can see here one on setting up our salad bar, daily cleaning, and some of the written information within the course. Very simple, very clean information in there for them to learn what they need to. This new program is going to completely replace your crew training binder and the DVD. So everything you need is included within these training modules. So why switch to online training? Why take the effort to learn this new program? There are so many advantages to using an LMS versus the previous system, and just a few of these are outlined here. Organized learning content. Everything is in one location. Instead of using a manual, a DVD, and a job card, everything can be easily accessed on one device at any time. And a tablet, a computer, anything that connects to the internet can use the online learning. Learning cost. Printing out additional manuals and job cards, unlimited access with your one login. And rather than scheduling a team member to give an overview and an orientation, this new team member can join the team, get an overview of some of the complex training elements through the modules, and then you can bring in a trainer to review and practice with them rather than starting from square one. It simplifies your learning process. It's going to reduce learning time, breaks down those complex concepts into small little biteable chunks, gives online learners the information they need in an organized manner, and you're going to have that increased consistency. So no longer one employee spreading maybe some habits or some shortcuts they've learned. Everyone learns the same process from the operations manual at the same time. And then immediate evaluation. You can easily track your learners' progress and their performance with the quiz, or if they're struggling in one area, you can go back and just assign them delivery or just assign them rolling the dough. If they're struggling with that. It also encompasses different learning styles because now you have the written information as well as the video. I could go on, but there are so many advantages to the learning management system you're going to find with LearningZen. So if you're ready to get started and you know your login information, you can utilize our pre-recorded training session anytime. We have a link to our YouTube video there. We also have a quick reference guide available, which we've sent out with the weekly roundup, and we can send out again. And it outlines the basics of adding a user, assigning courses, and pulling those reports. So both of those tools are available to you right now if you know your login. If you don't remember your login, or if you would like to pass this to maybe a manager or a key operating partner to take on the LearningZen portion of training for you, we would be happy to assist. So you can send us an email at training@gfgmanagement.com or to myself or anyone on the team, and we would be happy to get your manager or your partner ready and signed up for LearningZen, give them the credentials to assign and add users. Anything you need to help out, we're ready to assist. We're also currently holding some recurring LearningZen training webinars. So we're doing an overview of the system, how to add users, how to assign courses, how to pull reports, and an opportunity to ask any questions at that time. So we're doing them about every 3 weeks right now. Our next one is coming up on September 25th. I'm trying to vary the times because I know store opening kind of happens in the morning. So hopefully you can make one of these times. Or if you have a manager who will be handling LearningZen, feel free to have them register as well. The links for registering for these webinars can be found in the Roundtable Weekly Roundup. And there's also an opportunity there to submit your information if you'd like one of us to just reach out to you one-on-one and schedule some time to help get your users signed up or go through the system or answer any questions that you have. So we're very excited about this program. We think it's going to have great training benefits for you if you haven't already signed up and taken a look at the program. We plan to launch additional training modules in future, so now's a great time to go ahead and get started with it. And we look forward to hearing your feedback on the program. Like I said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to the training team or Learning Zen support. Our information is listed below. Send us an email, give us a call. We're here to help.
All right. Thank you very much, Melissa. I'm just going to put you back on mute for a couple minutes as we go through the rest, and then unmute you for any questions we get here towards the end. But thank you for all your work that you do. All right. So moving on past that, talking about driving top-line sales. And to start that off, I want to talk just for a moment about product development. We haven't touched on this particular segment of our efforts for a couple of months. But just to talk through a little bit, we have the product development committee that we work with. The folks who are on that group are fantastic about giving feedback and participating in the process. We've really broken product development into 4 different buckets, and it's not simply as simple to say product development. It's more of a menu-focused, product-focused type group. So the 4 categories that we talk about in each meeting and then internally on a regular basis. One is, hey, things that relate to simplification and efficiencies. Secondly is current product enhancement, meaning what are those menu items that we have today, or what are those items that we carry in the stores today that we can do better on? Ways to make them faster, ways to make them tastier, ways to serve them hotter and fresher, things of that nature. The third bucket, which everybody really wants to focus on, is, hey, what's innovative? What are those new things we can bring to the table that can carve out a niche for us in the marketplace? And then last but certainly not least is what are we doing from a quality assurance standpoint to ensure that we are only serving the best quality to our guests. A recent example that the PRDC members did a great job of working with our team, Jennifer and Lisa and the whole team on, is around salami and identifying some opportunities within that product. So they've done a really great job of bringing things to light and working jointly to improve. But we have a number of different activities going on, and I'll talk about what we're doing on a little bit of a longer-term basis. On the innovation standpoint, there's a number of products. One is a gluten-free crust. There are a number of you who will be involved in that test, and I'll talk about in a moment. That's starting in October. We have a stuffed crust pizza product made with real cheese that will be starting an operations test leading into a multi-market test throughout the fall, the rest of the year. We have a dessert item that's in test in 5 stores today that hopefully will go out. If you happen to be swinging by the Brentwood, Modesto area, I'll show you a picture of the product in a minute. I would be lying if I said I didn't eat like 3 of them yesterday. They're really pretty delicious, which is an edible cookie dough, scooped cookie dough, served as a dessert item, plus a cannoli version of that, which is it's pretty tasty. And also working on catering menus as you work towards catering. From a simplification and efficiency standpoint, continuing our work on frozen dough, an RTU sauce, which we will put into test and validate that experience with the RTU sauce, working through the timelines of the tomato seasons and what have you at this point. Menu simplification work continues and working with the PRDC on that. Crust type, pre-cut veggies, dressings and sauces work continues. Lots of different activities along those lines. From a current product enhancement standpoint, we've done some work on air fried wings. The objective there is not to necessarily switch the entire system, but saying, hey, on a go-forward basis, what's the right way and the most efficient way to serve a great quality wing to our guests in a fast, efficient way, while also being mindful of the recurring cost of things such as oil, the startup cost of fryers, hood systems, and things along those lines. The challenge is it's not a decision to go in a certain direction with wings. It's just simply saying, hey, let's challenge what we currently do and ask ourselves if there's a way to do better. So we are looking into that, and we're working on that right now. And then various ongoing Q&A things. The more exciting thing is truly working on a longer-term menu and innovation strategy. And that is something that we'll be embarking on here very quickly, along with working in conjunction with the PRDC, is a defined menu strategy over the course of the next 3 years to create a true innovation pipeline along with launch plans, calendars, and all of that. and not from just the standpoint of, hey, what do we think is cool, or what's the new version of our current pizzas, but truly, what are the menu items or the menu platforms that we can develop, which creates a compelling niche for us in a very crowded space. We're looking at bringing in some third-party resources to help bring this out. This is different from what the brand's done with a company such as Matson in the past, but really setting a strategic vision for how to differentiate ourselves through menu and innovation. So more to come on that, but excited that we're embarking on this particular pathway. So I'd dazzle with a couple of pictures, so I thought I'd put them out there. We've got two big things going on right now. So one is this edible cookie dough / cannoli test. I don't know about you, but that is pretty awesome. It's a cannoli shell that comes in pre-made with a piping bag, just piping in the edible cookie dough. Drizzle a little caramel, powdered sugar. You can see the sprinkles. There's a chocolate version of that. There's a birthday cake cookie dough, then more of a chocolate chip version. They're both delicious. My God, it's an edible cookie dough. Why isn't that not good? It's fantastic. So sampling it around the restaurant the other day, we had some very happy kids. So we'll see how that goes. And then the flip side, on the right-hand side, this gluten-free crust. So clearly not something that we will market as a gluten-free product. Our restaurant environments are not gluten-free. We can't make that claim. But working within the right positioning of the brand, of the product rather, and we'll be rolling out a 40-location pilot starting the week of October 6th. There are two different crusts that we will be testing. Excuse me. One is a more traditional gluten-free crust. I will tell you that the crust is fantastic. It's got great cell structure, and I think everyone involved who has tasted it has, from the PRDC to others, has said that it's really one of the best gluten-free crusts that they've ever had. And the second one, which is really equally as good, but a different type of product, is a broccoli cheddar crust. Again, both are fantastic, and we're going to learn quickly on these. And we don't think it's necessarily one product that's going to blow the doors off. That's not the point. But certainly, especially in the state of California, to not have a gluten-friendly option for consumers is concerning. And we want to, in the short term here, address that concern going into 2019. So lots of work being done. Lisa Davidson, Jessica Hillman, our two in-house PRDC, our two in-house R&D folks, along with Chris Crump out of Atlanta. They've all been working together on these types of projects, and they've done a great job. So that takes us forward into the conversation around marketing calendar. So let me bring on Kristen Lynch. And there's a number of different activities in here that she will run the group through. So, Kristen, give me 1 second. And you should now be with us. Are you there?
I'm here. Thank you, Jeff. And good morning. Good morning, everybody. On this first slide, if you skip one, Jeff, I've shown this on previous webinars, and this is the overall marketing calendar, which really depicts the remaining months in 2018. Today, I'll be discussing a few of these items, and for the sake of time, let's just jump right in to the slides. First, with national activation. One more slide. Here's the TV media schedule for September, October, November, and December. The TV commercial is referred to as Conference Room, and you will hear us talk about it in that manner, and you'll see that within the Marketing Execution Guide referenced as Conference Room. This is actually our third spot in the overall Pizza Royalty campaign. The Conference Room TV spot will start this coming Monday, September 17th, and will actually run through December 11th. In several markets, including some of the top tier markets, our agency, MGH, was able to negotiate lower cost per point. So this really is allowing us to get more overall GRPs and coverage with this TV commercial. The chart on the right, or the information on the right, is actually highlighting some of our key programming where you'll be able to see the TV spot. So the programming includes sports, both Major League Baseball as well as college football, NFL football, and NASCAR. And also, as we get into kind of the hot months for award shows, you can see that we will be showcasing our TV commercial during the Emmy Awards, the American Music Awards, as well as Country Music Awards throughout these coming months. Getting into the next few slides, I'm really wanting to walk through the importance of Mobivity. And you guys have all been hearing us talk about Mobivity and how important it is. But as a reminder, part of the Round Table Pizza brand strategy is to reach new, younger guests where they live, work, and play. And these guests expect more from an experience, and they're also accustomed to using tools which place choices right at their fingertips. So just like myself and many of you, we always have an iPhone, or we always have a phone in our hands, and these consumers utilize that tool constantly. This requires brands, including Round Table Pizza, to really reframe how we're engaging with each individual. This slide is showing some key macro trends from a consumer survey that was done in December of 2017, along with a Shopper Insights report, both garnered by Mobivity. And I just want to read through some of these data points for you. First, all consumers are redeeming mobile offers. You can see that the majority, or the largest percentage, is the 18 to 33-year-olds with 33%, but all consumers are redeeming mobile offers. Next, mobile offers drive impulse traffic. So within the consumer survey, about 56% of the respondents redeemed a mobile offer when in close proximity to a store. The final thought here is the mobile offers have the power to influence time of day. And specifically, 63% of individuals have no idea of their lunch decision an hour before lunchtime. So by giving them a mobile offer, 44% of individuals use a mobile device to actually make that lunch decision. So the Mobivity's Reach platform, or the SMS text platform, really allows Round Table Pizza to send the right message to the right person at the right time. Next slide. The Mobivity platform really is a planned and concentrated effort to transform the way that Round Table Pizza engages with this new, younger guest, like I said, where they live, work, and play. Mobivity really is a substantial enabler for all of us to drive recurring sales. I'm mentioning all of this because although the core of the message in the TV spot, which starts on Monday, September 17th, remains focused on our great product, the feature tag, which you could see here on the top left, is really all around acquiring Mobivity SMS Reach subscribers. And specifically, it is the text pizza to 86677 tag. To reach the full potential of the overall Mobivity program, best-in-class brands that leverage Mobivity target a minimum of 800 to 1,000 subscribers per location within the first year. When we look at Round Table Pizza, we're averaging only 70 subscribers per location. So the subscriber goal going into 2019 is 1,300 Reach subscribers per location. With a focused effort, these results can definitely be achieved. The chart on the right is showing that this level of engagement will and should generate a 13% lift in sales. And outlined below are just a few of the marketing activations from a national perspective that will continue to focus on building the Mobivity Reach subscriber database and really connect with our customers to drive them back for continued purchases. On the next slide, it's important to note that all stores, all Round Table Pizza stores have SMS text Reach through Mobivity. I've outlined the national branded programs that will take place to drive Reach subscribers, but there are a number of things to do on a local level to drive Reach subscribers as well. First, let's make sure that we're communicating the text Club with customers. And set an SMS text subscriber goal per store per day. So talk it up. Starting on Monday, September 17th, communicate the TV tag. Join our text club for exclusive offers like free pizza and wings. Text pizza to 86677 to join. That's what they will be seeing on the national TV commercial. Starting now, so you could do it now versus waiting until Monday, communicate the overall join offer that has actually been in place since the beginning of the program. And this is join our text club for 6 free garlic parmesan twists with any pizza purchase. Everybody should have received 1,000 opt-in cards a few months ago, and if you didn't, please make sure that you reach out to me, because these cards are to be handed out to the consumers, whether they be dine-in consumers, carry-out consumers, or delivery consumers. And this is really the ability for you to gain reach subscribers into your local store text club as part of Mobivity. The final part is really promoting everywhere. You also should have received a digital flyer that provides creative to you to be able to develop additional POP, cross-promote the text club on all of your social media and any email blasts that you may be doing, and really just drive the SMS Reach program wherever you're promoting Roundtable Pizza and any other things that you've got going on for the brand. And then finally, if you are already on the receipt program as part of Mobivity, highlight the SMS text club message on the receipt for all customers. Getting into the next slide, these are 2 larger national programs that are really built to drive the reach subscribers. And Roundtable Pizza partnered with DraftKings and Pepsi, and that campaign is now live as of Monday, September 3rd. Within 1 week, we've seen somewhat of a slow build with entries and build offer orders, but this should ramp up over the next upcoming weeks. We've also already garnered PR impressions with QSR and PMQ magazines, and they're really communicating the overall promotion, which again should help us drive awareness of the overall program. A few things to remember. First, if a customer orders the bundle, the DraftKings bundle, and the receipt does not print a code, please provide the guest with the DraftKings card that all participating stores should have received. Second, a daily goal is to sell a minimum of 2 bundles per store. So let's really work hard to at least get the 2 bundles per store. And then finally, place the box toppers on at least 10 carry-out and delivery boxes per store per day. By doing all of these things, this will actually help these entries and overall sales continue to increase during the entire program, which ends on November 11th. If you have any questions about this promotion, please refer to the FAQ section in the MEG, which was actually sent out in the roundup on September 3rd, or reach out to Katie Toms, who can give you consultation on anything and information about the overall program. The next slide and the next really exciting program to drive reach subscribers is the car giveaway. And this will start right after DraftKings ends. So it will start on November 12th and it will run through the end of the year. And customers can win a 2018 Subaru Impreza. So who wouldn't want to win a car? There are 2 ways for our customers to enter. The first is via SMS text, and the second, which is a required secondary way of entering, is via email. This program is going to be promoted through typical marketing channels, and all of the details will actually be outlined in a campaign MEG, or marketing execution guide, which will be published in one of the weekly roundups very shortly. So more to come on this program, but again, another very exciting national program to drive the reach subscribers through our Mobivity platform. Jumping into the next slide, I've mentioned this very top line to everybody before. The pizza experience, which Roundtable Pizza is a premier sponsor, launches on October 1st in LA. And this is just a little sneak peek of the multi-sensory experience. Not only does Roundtable Pizza have a room, but there will be rooms featuring a bed made of fake pizzas that consumers can actually jump on and enjoy that comfort. There's going to be an interactive tomato booth, and there will also be a dough throwing room. So just some really cool rooms that the consumer's going to be able to experience. And then obviously at the center of all of it is the Roundtable Pizza room. If you get a chance, please try to visit the experience. It runs from October 1st to January 29th, and I've put the address here for you to take note of. This is really a unique activation for the Roundtable Pizza brand, and it's going to allow our consumers to really interact with us in a different manner. On the next slide, this is another really fun PR activation that took place, and it was delivering Roundtable Pizza to the new coach of the Atlanta Hawks, Lloyd Pierce. He is one of Roundtable's biggest fans, so much so that last month an article was actually written on the popular sports blog, The Undefeated. It was devoted to his love of Roundtable Pizza sausage and pepperoni pizza. We have actually offered up to the coach that we will cater for the entire Hawks team the next time they play in California, and we're actually looking forward to him taking us up on that offer so that we can continue to indulge him in one of his favorite products, Roundtable Pizza. Flipping into the next slide, we're actually now getting into the local activation. The first thing on the next slide is the upcoming LSM opt-in program. And holidays are one of the biggest times that capitalize on consumer spending. And companies, including Roundtable Pizza, companies in general throw holiday parties, and we are going to capitalize on the fact that they have parties and guests are really going get into the holiday spirit at different restaurants. So the holiday business-to-business mailer will target businesses with 10+ employees within a 1 to 7 mile radius of a local Roundtable Pizza restaurant. And this is really about driving sales and traffic among our neighboring businesses. On average, 500 to 1,000 mailers per store will drop in the market the last week of October. And the important dates for you all to remember: the opt-in process through UMI will be live this coming Monday, September 17th, and it will close at midnight on September 28th. And then the final thing on the next few slides is really all about the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society Bite for the Fight campaign. As of Sunday, September 29th, the fundraising total is $151,306.65. This is 30% of the GFG goal overall. As a reminder, the campaign ends on Monday, October 15th. And as you can see from the chart on the left, Roundtable Pizza is doing a great job thus far. So let's keep up the great work and continue to push LLS and this overall campaign. On my final slide, this is also a reminder that there are prizes. So Jeff, if you would flip to the next slide, this is the incentive structure. You can win prizes by continuing to push this overall fundraising experience. And if you have any questions about the overall LLS program, please make sure to reach out to Erin Walter. She is the Roundtable Pizza representative for LLS for the overall GFG program. And that's all I've got. Thanks, Jeff.
All righty. Perfect. Thank you, Christian. We'll keep you on the line in case we have any questions that are marketing related. So let's take just a couple of seconds and let's pull up and see if we have some questions. So All right. So the first question that came up was, we can jump right in. So does not having an app to order from go hand in hand with our delivery decline? Great question. I think that's one of many components that go into the trend that we're seeing within delivery. So whether it's an app, the experience within an online ordering ecosystem, all of those touch points on the customer journey, the digital customer journey, all of those things contribute to, I think, a less than exemplary ordering experience. Last order recall, touch button ordering, being able to text in orders, voice ordering, all of those types of things, I think, or the lack of voice ordering, although small in the industry today, it'll keep on growing in that particular channel. So I think lots of things contribute. I think one of the largest contributors, although it's not what we all want to hear, is consumer trust. And what I mean by that is that as we're seeing in the data, the number of opportunities that we have that the guest is communicating to us about their experience and the pizza that they receive. So again, the overall experience that they have, even beyond the ordering process, it's a significant gap. Accuracy of order is huge. Quality of the order is huge. We see oftentimes, and some of you see it as well, that pizzas are just undercooked, which, the natural inclination is to look at that and say, hey, are people rushed in the kitchens? Are we reaching in and taking out the pizza a little too early off the conveyor? We have to look at some of those operational systems and say, can we do better? As an example, for those of you who aren't aware, there is a way to, in certain model Lincoln ovens, to change finger configuration as well as blowers in order to decrease the required cook time to get to the exact same result. So the finger difference, not to go long on this, but the finger difference is right now the fingers are a round aperture. The fingers change to a plus-shaped aperture, so a plus shape, or an X, depending on how you're looking at it. And by changing the blowers, I can't give you the spec on that, but within certain models, being able to change that, as we have in a couple of company stores just to test the process, it's a relatively inexpensive conversion. We've been able to take down the cook time from 5 minutes to 3.5. So if you look at some of those things, like 1.5 minutes on a cycle is huge. We could work together for months or years and not find 1.5 minutes worth of opportunity. That's big. So that is one example of something that we've just embarked on over the past 60 days, or 30 days really, to see if we can't shave some time and therefore improve the overall ordering experience across all the different channels we have. So anyways, that's a long-winded answer to your question, but hopefully that helps. Excuse me, as a follow-up to that perhaps is, are we looking at apps that can help address the root of your question? Absolutely. And I think that's a really key component to us over the course of the next 6 months to a year. How real-time are the comments coming into the SMG app? We've noticed that our individual apps for various social media platforms show these comments sometimes before the SMG app reports them. If that's the case, does that mean that the Informs and GEM surveys are also reporting up to a day later than received? So it's natural that the comment showing up directly in an app for Yelp or Facebook or something to that effect would come up before the SMG. Since you're viewing that comment in its native environment. Off the top of my head, I don't know the cadence that SMG scrapes the social sites and therefore reports them. It very well may even vary based upon the individual social media platform. So we can try to find that out and get a little more data. If I'm stating it as quote unquote real time, That's probably a misstatement on my part. I don't mean it in literal, like it happens instantaneously. But I know they scrape it a minimum of 1 time a day to report into the SMG site. So if you are actively monitoring your own social page on Yelp, that's great. Yes, you are probably getting it a little bit sooner than SMG. If you are not, like the majority of folks probably are not, I can imagine monitoring 5 sites in real time, literally real time, then the SMG certainly is a nice supplement to help you get that information in a very timely manner. That's probably a better way to articulate that. So hopefully that answers your question, Jennifer. Going forward, can the deck for the webinars be provided on Slice in advance of the webinars? By doing so, the participants will have an opportunity to preview and process to make a greater opportunity to understand and comment. I think it's great feedback. I certainly think that giving the agenda for the webinars is something we can definitely do going forward in Slice. I'm sorry, not in Slice, my apologies. Giving the agenda in the roundup before the webinars, which are on Thursdays, is definitely something we can do. Trying to get the entire deck on there in advance, maybe a little bit more of an opportunity, but that's great feedback, and we'll definitely take it into consideration, and it's appreciated. So will we be able to rewatch videos? I assume that is a Learning Zen reference. Melissa, I'm going to take you off and mute for a minute. Maybe you can address this one. Melissa, are you there? So the question is, will we be able to rewatch videos? I know before and after completing a course, you could not go back and retake the video. They would like to be able to have them go back and take it again and again on a recurring basis. So can you talk to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can reassign modules as many times as you'd like. And you can also allow them to go back and forth through the course. They can take the quiz, or if they are taking the quiz and solve a question or need some clarity on something, you can go back through the video. But you can absolutely reassign the course, and they can continue to take it as many times as they'd like.
All right, fantastic. Then a follow-up to that, Melissa, while I got you, had a good question. I think it's probably something that we can accommodate. But the question was, will any of these Learning Zen trainings occur on Saturdays? I cannot possibly make the weekday ones. I think that's probably something we can accommodate.
Yeah, it's absolutely something we can accommodate. And we also record all of the sessions that you could watch at any time of day also. So yeah, we can definitely add one on a weekend. Or a different time. I'd love that suggestion to hear what works for you. And we can also provide you a pre-recorded you can view at any time.
All right, fantastic. I'll put you on the spot again. This is a tough one, Melissa, so prepare yourself. The question is, I'm sorry, but what is Melissa's last name?
Oh, Melissa Ellis.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to email me, which I'm guessing what this question is for, it's mellis@gfgmanagement.com.
Okay. Let me keep a couple more Learning Zen ones going here, Melissa, since we got you. Who to talk to if there are login or other problems for managers trying to use Learning Zen?
So you can contact me directly, or training@gfgmanagement.com. We'll go to the whole training team, and the first person available will be able to get with you. If it's a technology question, you can always go to Learning Zen support, but we are here to help you with anything you need. So feel free to reach out via phone or the email to any of us on our team, or just training@gfgmanagement.com, and we'd be happy to help.
Excellent. So hang tight. There may be some more Learning Zen questions down the road a little bit. So I've got another question here, a little bit regarding Mobivity. The question is, should we be replacing Splango with Mobivity? So text offers, rewards program, et cetera. Kristen, can you talk about our approach on that?
Yes. So as we move forward, like I mentioned, is one of our #1 tactics to really move forward with. So I know that a few franchisees do have other text programs that they may be utilizing right now, and may have built a a database, a consumer database along the way, but we are looking to move all of those consumers in the databases over to the Mobivity platform so that we are working with one vendor, one platform overall, and the communication to our consumers is coming through the Reach text program with Mobivity. So if you want to reach out to me directly or Aaron Walter directly, we can walk you through how to get your consumers that might be in your existing database rolled over or transferred over into the Mobivity text platform.
Awesome. Good. I can tell you that we have in a couple of the stores that we had a couple of stores that we're paying $200 a month on for 5 stars. We have activated and now moved over those the guests that we had on that particular program into Mobivity and won't be paying $200 a month anymore. So to follow up on that question, so wait. So the question was, next question up was about RTDC August results with the decision from not using print and doing limited direct mail instead. My apologies for not putting up a RTDC sales chart. That's a misstep on my part. I'll get that in there for the next time. We had been down more significantly than the franchise restaurants, I should say, throughout the summer. But as we have launched a number of the different programs through the local store marketing toolkit, we actually have cut our same store sales trend in half. So we've gone from down about 9 to down about 4.5, and we're trending back. So the story is yet to be written. And the question is from Dale. So more to come as we look at the whole impact of the programs, but the trend direction is definitely in the right direction, I should say. Okay, next up, early, but plans for Christmas gift card sales promotion. What's in the works? Kristen?
Yes, so we actually do have a program outlined with UMI. So similar to the program that I just spoke about with the business-to-business mailer, which is a trifold mailer, that any of you could opt into. We are outlining something very similar for consumers. One of the elements is actually an interactive card, if you will, that can be utilized and handed out at store level. So we are working through all of those details right now with UMI, but a program is outlined for the holiday season.
Okay. The next question was a follow-up to the loyalty/Mobivity. We have Splanga loyalty/text club with 1,500 members. Can we combine these with the new text club? I believe the answer is yes by inviting them in, but Kristen, perhaps you can address.
Yes, so that's what I was mentioning a moment ago, that there is a specific manner that Mobivity has recommended to us to get those consumers transferred over. And there is, I'll call it a legal disclaimer language that needs to be sent out to the consumers to get them then into the Mobivity program. So if you are one of those franchisees that would like to transfer the database over into the Mobivity text program, please reach out to myself or Aaron Walter, and we can work through that with Mobivity and yourself to get those customers into the new database.
Okay. Next one up is, who do we contact if we were experiencing problems with the GEM site? Good question. You can reach out to your FBC, or Lisa Merrill, our VP of franchising, is the point person on that program. If I'm not mistaken, there is also a help link on the site, which obviously if you're having issues getting onto the site, that's not going to help you very much. But depending on what your needs are, then Lisa Merrill is a great person, or your FBC. Or Dave, if you just want to send me an email directly, we'll make sure that you get hooked up and get taken care of. Next one up, also about the GEM. And this particular franchisee was asking that the GEM program Mobivity, the print on the text on the receipts is too small. If your printer is not new or perfect, it's hard to read. If it's something that can be fixed. So great feedback. we'll have to look into what the root cause of that issue is. If it's an old printer issue, then perhaps that's a little bit more challenging from a programming standpoint to fix. We'll mark that down as a follow-up specifically with you, so we can take a look at your specific situation. So good feedback, and we'll get back to you. Hang tight.
And just to add to that, Jeff, I'm actually working with Mobivity to look at the overall creative and language and words, font style, if it's bolded or if it's underlined, all of those different things to try to make their receipts and the communication that we have on the receipts for both the text program and the GEM survey stand out a little bit more for our customers. So we're all working through that.
Fantastic. I got a question here. This is somebody who is still on POSNet's online ordering. We get numerous complaints about POSNet's online ordering. Compared to our competitors, ours is difficult to understand and navigate. What are we doing to make online ordering more user-friendly? Oh, boy. That is that's a huge piece. We are now the Onisys integration update into POSNet is as follows. All SKUs, all orders are now being fired through the Onisys POSNet integration. So we have achieved integration into POSNet's system through the Onisys platform. All SKUs have been validated and tested, and they're preparing to launch it into, which is a massive progression, and they're preparing to launch that into a live store environment in the coming week or so. So October 1st is the deadline to have that happen. That is a live in-store environment. So we're anxiously anticipating that. But Len, to your point, the online ordering ecosystem, the look and the feel, the simplicity, the guidance that we give guests as they order product, it's a huge issue that unfortunately, frankly, the brand should have addressed years ago. So we're working on it. It's a huge priority. Don Shuck, and you saw some of the new hires to his team. He's now got about 5 or 6 people, I think it is, on our overall IT team. They are feverishly working to make sure that all parties involved with that particular project are communicating and working together. Any updates on POS replacement recommendations? I'll give the quick update there. As of Monday, as I've previously communicated, we have 2 stores utilizing a different and a test point of sale environment. 1 store using brand new equipment, 1 store with converted existing hardware. Both stores are functioning. We have kiosk ordering in both of those stores. We have an integrated online ordering ecosystem. It doesn't necessarily look perfect at this point, but what we are doing and the approach that we've decided to take is less about aesthetics and far more in the short term about operational process and stress testing during the course of our testing trial period, stress testing the operational side of the particular system. So that's the update. As we've also previously communicated, we haven't made any kind of decisions about the go forward status of that, but we're aggressively testing it and look forward to have something to share, at least on terms of how it's performing in the not too distant future. So it's a 90-day test, started a couple weeks ago, and we'll have more to share as we have results and feedback out of that system. Another follow-up here, POSNet does not allow percentage discounts to be applied to more than 1 item, which also causes issues. They say it cannot be fixed. I don't have an answer for that one, other than we certainly are working with Onisys. Their online ordering system clearly is more nimble and advanced. I think that's fair, and we're certainly working with them to make sure this integration goes smoothly. Too late for that, but the integration goes. Let's put it like that, and we advance our online ordering opportunity with our guests. follow up on Learning Zen. Melissa, I'm going to take you out for one more question here. We got Learning Zen. Can we get better functionality? Example, when assigning tests, it'd be nice to know if the test has been assigned and completed without going to look at a glance, I guess it means. There is more. How can we get improvement, and who do we lean on, I guess he's trying to say. So Melissa, obviously that's you. So
yeah, absolutely. So it might just be a matter of looking at one of the different reports. I think there's several in there. It might be the out-of-student report, or we can look at by course. It can help you get some more detailed information. And if it's a function that Learning Zen doesn't currently have, they're really great about taking our suggestions and taking them to their development team. So if you would just want to get with one of us offline, we can talk more about kind of your vision or what it is you're looking for and find a way for you to get it, or submit it to the development team.
sounds great. So follow-up question here on Mobivity. Can stores customize our own Mobivity text offers, or are they the national campaigns that GFG is choosing? Chris, hold that.
Sure. So a little bit of both. So the first thing, we will actually be distributing, if you will, national brand offers, campaign offers, but we will also be working, or we have worked with Mobivity to outline a library, if you will, of offers that we will send out to the franchise community, and you can pick from that library of offers to do as local Mobivity reach offers. So a little bit of both. You'll have the national aspect of offers, and you can have local offers that you would choose from that overall library, which encompasses offers that we know have worked or Mobivity has shown us works in general.
Okay. Another question for you. What is the plan for a first quarter value promotion?
Yeah, so we are actually in the midst of working through 2019 marketing plans right now, and flushing out what the overall strategy would look like, as well as the programs and that calendar. So hold tight. We will be explaining more details of what the plan looks like over the next month or two, but we are working through that.
Okay. Question, can specific stores opt out on national campaigns that are being featured on RTP online website homepage? Offers will be honored, but aren't interested in posting them on our homepage. Can you tackle that one, Kristen?
So to do an overall 360 campaign, we are wanting all of our different customer touch points to be communicating the same information, i.e. the national campaign. So no, there is no opt-out, if you will, because we want that 360 campaign and that brand message that the consumer sees on all of those touch points to be the same.
A couple of follow-up questions to the POSNet comment that the individual had typed in about not being able to do percentage discounts. It sounded a little odd when I read it, but a couple of people have typed in some they don't understand why that's an issue, that they can. But so we'll follow up that individually and make sure we can answer any questions or concerns they have about the system. So I appreciate that refinement of the feedback. All right. Just pausing, we don't have any other questions that are typed in at this point. I think I've covered them all. Just going to give it a couple of seconds to see if anybody else types anything else in. While we do that, just in sort of summary, lots of great things going on over the next few weeks. A lot of activity on our brand vision and design project that is coming along beautifully, and I'm very much looking forward to sharing at the RTOA convention in Hawaii where we are at with that project. The team from SRG partner in that endeavor. We'll be there to we'll be there to present that work that we've been doing. We've had a great committee, 4 awesome franchisees who have been participating all along with that effort. And I think everybody who's involved loves where we are netting out. And I think as we're able to share that with a broader audience, I think everybody will be very proud of the direction that we're working to take the brand. I can also say with great confidence, I think it's going to be a very familiar direction that keys on a lot of the points of pride that the brand already has for what we do well. So very excited to share more on that. That's just kind of a tease, I guess. Lots of other stuff going on. I mentioned product development, lots of great activity there. And again, looking forward to being out in market. We'll be down in San Diego in a couple of weeks for the gluten-friendly test roll. Looking forward to the R2A board meeting actually next week on Wednesday, where we're going to share with them the brand positioning work and so far the progress we've made on that. So lots of great moments coming up in the next few weeks. Certainly, I'm not at all not excited about going to Hawaii. I'm thrilled to get out there, get a little sunshine, and having the opportunity to interact with as many people as possible and share some of the work that we've been doing. So with all that, no more questions have come in. So we'll wrap up the webinar, but we appreciate everybody's time, and I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the week and weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.